Ready. Hi parents, welcome to another series of our GCC Hemai show. So today we'll be looking at sex education in children. As we all know that our 3 minutes talk with parents has been replaced with our bi-yearly grand presentation. And we'll be having GCC Hemai show intermittently. So today we'll be discussing, the topic for today is around sex education. Sex education has been a common language, a common talks among people these days, and everyone, most people believe that sex education is really important, while others feel it is perverse, that is not right. As Christian, is unholy, to discuss about sex with your children. So today, our speaker, Dr. Faith from United States of America, the pioneer of BFF Academy, and she is one of our instructors in GCC and masterclass for adults. So today she will be discussing on sex education in children and its benefits. So parents, we hope this session bless you. Thank you. Hello, Ma. Welcome on board.
Hello, thank you for having me. It's always beautiful to be on your platform. How have you been? It's
Fine.
good to be here again.
Thanks, Ma. So, Ma, do you want to introduce yourself so that I know I've introduced you briefly, but our parents would love to know what you are into?
Okay, my name, I'm Dr. Faith Obafemi, called Dr. Faith the Planner. I'm a veterinary doctor. That's my first baby, first love. And then I have a master's degree in physiology. I'm also certified in mental health, emotional intelligence, and leadership, HR, many certifications. So I am the founder of the Boost from Faith Academy. It's a company focused on career and life coaching. So we help you find clarity in your career. You know, when you say career is what you do for life. So it touches every area of your life. Your career affects your relationships, it affects your finances, it affects your health, affects everything. So we guide our clients in their career. We also touch on business. We fund businesses, we coach on businesses, we help people plan their retirement. So our clientele spans from children to teenagers, young adults, and their parents. So basically that's what we do. We have many products. I have a book titled Effective Planning and Execution. The hard copy is available. It's also on Amazon, so you can get the soft copy anywhere in the world. We have many other products. Another special product that is dear to my heart is our biannual conference. We have a virtual conference every February and September of every year, where we bring facilitators in education, academics, business, life issues, coaches, name it, experts, professors, people that have done it and know it, to come facilitate our registered audience and teach them about things. So the theme for the forthcoming one, which is next month, is Global Lifetime Opportunities. So the conference is promising scholarship opportunities for people abroad, both undergraduate and master's degree. We'll be giving funds to undergraduate university students to boost their businesses. We did that for about 12 of them in February. So we'll be sharing the updates, how their businesses have improved with the funds we gave them. It's not a loan, we're funding, so we want to affect the unemployment rate in Nigeria and bring it down. And then we'll be giving a certificate of attendance. There'll be networking, and then you have subsidized access to all of our products. So we do trainings, many things. So we're a coaching outfit generally.
Wow, that's wonderful. So parents, if you need to connect with her, just get in touch, okay? So thank you. So Ma, today we'll be discussing on sex education. So what is sex education in children?
So when we say education, education is just imparting knowledge. You're sharing something. So when you say education, most people think of school. Education doesn't have to be in school, at home, every time education is taking place. As we're talking now, education is taking place. You're learning from me, I'm learning from you. So it mustn't always be a formal setting or an environment that is schooly or school-like, you know. So when we say sex education is enlightening our children about sex and everything that has got to do with sex. So when you say sex education, it doesn't mean I'll now say, okay, come here, my child. It is time for me to teach you about sex. Sit down. This is your penis. This is your vagina. This will happen. It's not going to work. You know what I'm saying? That because I remember how my mother started sex education in my own time. It was funny. You can't do that this generation now. So basically, that's what sex education is. Enlightening your children about sex and everything that has got to do with sex.
Thank you, Ma. So, I believe parents, some parents find it very difficult, you know, to they find it very uncomfortable, you know, to discuss sex, you know, with their kids. Like growing up, like you said, when my parents were discussing, I remember that afternoon that mom called me. You know, I was going to, okay, I was actually you know, going to uni, and they were like, "Oh, we need to discuss with you. You know what? This stylishly, they were not comfortable. So, and they were just telling me if a guy touched me, then I'll become pregnant, you know, and all those kind of, so it doesn't really make sense to me. But then that's their whole way, you know, of how they feel. They can communicate that to me because they were not comfortable. So, ma, how can our parents, you know, be comfortable, you know, to tell children, to educate children about sex, especially about their reproductive organs, and you know, about puberty, you know, a lot of things, because some children, they tend to, you know, some children, especially the young girls, they don't really know about menstruation. So it is when it happened that some parents now started talking about it. So, ma, just enlighten us, how can they, and at what age, you know, can parents start, you know, educating their children about sex?
Okay, first of all, you know, when there is like a myth surrounding something, it kind of makes it like a taboo. You know, there's this like about it. So that's just one of the things about sex, and the major reason why it's like that is just lack of knowledge or enlightenment. So for instance, if you ask somebody that has never eaten pizza before, seen pizza, and say, talk about pizza, the reaction of the person is going to be different from that of a person that eats pizza every day, you know. So that's just how sex is. Because parents don't know a lot about it, they have attached a particular thing to it, like it's a bad thing, it's this, you know. Once you don't know something about something, there's this general attitude people have towards it. And sex is something that none of us can avoid because life must continue and God created sex for good. So everything that has good has a bad side. So it depends on how you approach it and how you share it with your kids. Now, when you say so for parents to be able to effectively communicate or pass across sex education to their kids, they have to remove that myth, first of all. And I love that was what my mom did for me when we were growing up. My mom learned to talk about sex and made us comfortable with sex. You know, it's so bad that some adults, if you say sex right now, they will start blushing. They can't even look you in the eyes when you're talking about sex. I remember in medical school, I think it was in 400 or 500 level, we're doing theriogenology. It's the study of the reproductive system. So the lecturer had to explain how the male reproductive system will work and how the female one will work and all that. So, you know, we you know, ahead of time, you get the lecture material, you know what the topic the lecturer is going to. So we all knew the topic for the day. So the class was full. First of all, everybody was like, this is an interesting class. So we were, you know, then we have like a course. We have like 4 or 5 different lecturers taking a particular course. So we didn't know which of the lecturers was going to come, if it was going to be male or female. So when she came, You
Oh
know,
my
everyone's like, oh, you know, just imagine the difficult situation that woman was in. I really felt for her. So just imagine a group of hungry teenagers looking at one woman to feed them information. And in the class, I saw how uncomfortable she was. And then, you know, students would ask some very crazy questions that
questions.
she'll be blushing, you know. So for the teenagers, they were comfortable talking about it and asking about it because they knew even something that the lecturer didn't know. Some of the girls can tell you some things that you would do to not to get pregnant and know how to get rid of pregnancy. You know, when you know about a thing, there's a way you're comfortable about it. Our parents need to get comfortable with that topic, sex. You know, they can't keep putting it off. You need to get familiar with it so that you can pass it appropriately to your child. Because if they continue to do what they're doing, they're going to pass the same attitude down to their kids, and kids will be like, no, you know, the holier than thou thing, because everybody will be involved in sex, except if you have decided to be celibate. If not, everybody's going to be involved. And even if you are not, your relatives, your children will be involved, and they need that knowledge. So when you now ask me at what age should we start to enlighten our kids, you know, this is a question that comes up a lot all the time. And my answer is that it's from the beginning. It's from the beginning. It's quite sad when you see some babies, you see a baby of 1-2 year old, and they don't even know their uniqueness. They don't know what sets them apart. A baby of 2 years old doesn't know the meaning of private part, doesn't know that you need to cover some parts. You know, we say certain things like, oh, when a child decides to run around naked, oh, they're young, leave them, it's okay. You know, yes, they are young and it's okay, but you teach them gradually, you know. So when you now have a child of 4-5 years old that is still running around naked, you will see that the parent has not done anything in that area. The parent has not studied anything about sex education. So sex education starts from zero, the day they are born. You know, you see children touch themselves in different ways, hold themselves in different ways. The way you react, the way you respond to these things makes a child think, this thing is an abomination. You can imagine a baby playing with his penis and the baby, you know, the mother is, the baby will like, this thing is dangerous. You know, then the day he grows up and sees somebody else using it, and he will follow that person and say, let me know what's up. You know, he will not share with the mother or the father because he sees that the mother is always, you know, it starts from zero. So when the baby is still growing, let them be aware of themselves. You know, you start telling them, this is pee, this is this, you use this for this. Because if you don't start to do it, other people mix up with them. They're going to tell them. They're going to have friends. Except if you want your child to live in a vacuum and your child not watch. See, it's even worse these days with cartoons. You know, during our own time, the cartoons we watch, most of them didn't talk about these things. But now, I kid you not, I think it was last week, I sat with my kids. Before I allow them watch any new cartoon, I have to watch it to make sure that it's not vulgar. It was so difficult to get one single cartoon that didn't say a curse word or a word about sex, you know, and they use these words commonly and normally now as if they're just normal words and they're no biggies. So if you haven't started teaching your kid and your kid just comes across cartoon, and you imagine your kid starts saying things like breast and this in public, people will say your child is bad. It's not that the child is bad. The child is curious. The child wants to know. And the child will go out with you. I remember last week, I have only boys. I took my boys to Giant. I went to shop in Giant. And when we got to the section where we had mannequins now have breasts. You have mannequins now with penis and all that. My son was like, Mommy, can you imagine? So if I hadn't been teaching him about that, you can imagine a child in public going to grab the breast of a mannequin or the penis of a mannequin, you know, it's going to be embarrassing and all that. So it starts from the beginning. And by the time they are now crossing to 2-5 years old, you start giving names to those parts of their body. You tell them what breast is. You tell them what the penis is. Yeah, you know, some parents will say, like in my house, we call penis pee-pee. But I tell them it's penis. It's just that when we're in public, when I say pee-pee, you can't just keep saying penis everywhere. So, but some parents use terms that the kids still don't understand. Like for instance, we say pee, but my son knows that pee is penis. But some parents just say pee. So the child doesn't even know that pee is called penis. So when people are talking about the penis, the child is like, wow, what is this penis? He doesn't know that it's the same pee, but the parent didn't tell the child that it's called penis in real life. So you have to do that. And you know, these things have a lot of benefits. I think we'll talk about the benefits later. Let me just do this. So by the time they're like getting to from 2 to 5, you start giving names to their parts. Let them know the different parts that they have. You know, so your kids, by the time you start discussing this with your kids, they will ask you certain questions. Kids will ask you, mommy, is this how a girl is? Is this how this person, you know? You explain to them so that when they go out and other people are talking about it, they can't intrigue them and attract them with that. They'll tell you, oh, I know that already. My mommy told me, my mom explained to me, you know. So at this stage, my younger son is 6 years old, and he knows now not to leave the bathroom naked. You know, some kids have their bath, they have the carry the towel and they're running around naked. He knows that not to do that now. He knows that I can't enter an adult's room without knocking. I can't go to any room I knock. You go to some houses, maybe you're a visitor and you're a guest in a room, their kids just come to your room, bah, they just, it has happened to me in a cousin's house. I was staying overnight and their daughter just opened and I was totally naked in my room. She didn't knock. It was such an embarrassing, you know. So you won't blame the girl, but you know that her parents haven't taught her anything. So it means that in their house, they just open doors anyhow. So parents, we start from the day as long as your child is breathing. Because I kid you not, what technology is sharing with our kids now, you do not want to take chances. You want to start early so that your child will learn to trust you and confide in you. So that whatever is happening, they will run to you or they will even talk to you. Even if they can't tell you everything, you will see them sometimes, they will ask you some funny questions. You know something is happening. I have seen parents whose kids were raped, gang raped and all that, and the parents didn't know. I know of a case for a girl in secondary school. A guy in the class raped her. The whole school knew, except her parents. You know, and I was like, the day the mother finds out, I hope this woman will not kill herself. The whole school, all the teachers, everybody knew, all the parents knew, except her parents. And that was a big gap. It showed.
Thank you, Ma. Thank you. So, well, in addition to what Dr. Faith has said, so parents, I think the first thing is we need to unlearn the myth that sex is unholy. Parents, unfortunately, these days, sex is everywhere, so our children tend to learn it anywhere. So we need to forget about, we need to unlearn, you know, that sex is unholy, is perverse, and something that we need to really discuss with our children. And then we need to develop our communication skills, you know, on what way and manner, you know, to present this. So, and also parents, we need to be aware, like Dr. Faith said, we need to, just learn more, you know, about sex education, read more, and that will actually will help us because there are implications. So she will be discussing that very soon. So Ma, now that we're going to discuss about the benefit, what are the implications, you know, of parents? I know you've mentioned some because they will be in dark anyway because the children won't be able to communicate, you know, with them on what they are passing through, especially God forbid if they are raped or something. So parents won't be able to intervene, you know. So Ma, yeah, I just wanted to highlight briefly, you know, what are the implications of parents not educating their children about sex?
Okay. I'll mention a few. You know, when you were talking just now, you said parents should learn. You can imagine if your child comes to you and says, Mommy, what is puberty? And you really don't know. Honestly, as in sincerely, you don't know. And you can't hide it. Your child will know that you don't know. Your child will be like, how come my mommy doesn't know this? When it comes to the serious issues, your child will not come to you because he feels mommy will not know. And even if she tries to form that she knows, she won't tell me the real deal. This child will now start looking for where to get the real deal or the real information. God help you if your child goes to the internet or has a friend that wants to show the child practically. And then you see how the problem starts. And then one of the problems with anything that has to do with sex is, you know, addiction comes in. So once something is done once and the child enjoys it, it's going to be difficult, very difficult. It normally shapes the whole of their lives. I saw a situation once where the baby was less than 2 years old. The nanny, every time the nanny bathed the boy, should always play with his penis. So the boy doesn't know what it means. It's just that when she plays with it, the penis will get strong, and the boy enjoyed it. I kid you not, the parents noticed one day they bought a toy. There's this toy, this rabbit toy that it can suck, and be joking, and so they saw the boy carrying the rabbit and putting it on his penis, and the thing was, massage, and then they saw his penis get strong, and they collected the rabbit, and the boy, the kind of cry, the boy was crying and throwing tantrum. Now, at 2 years old, that boy is already that sexually sensitive. It's going to take a lot to get that boy off that, because he's already addicted to it. Now, this boy doesn't even know what sex is. He doesn't even know a woman, but he can imagine that already at that age. So those are some of the consequences. When you tell your child and you inform them and they know, when you're talking to somebody that is totally lost about a thing, the way they react is different from someone that knows. When you come from a place of knowledge, you can't just come and shroud me like, you can't come and bragado me. But when they don't know anything, people will tell them the truth and even the lie and hook them. And once children are hooked outside, it's difficult to get them away. So those are some of the implications of not telling your children about sex education. And one thing I want to say here is that nobody's going to do it for you. The child is your child. Don't expect anybody to do it for you. Don't even want anybody to do it for you. It is your responsibility. Do it and know it early and start it early. The earlier you start, the more comfortable it is. My son, there was a day my son had a wound. He zipped himself and the zip zipped his penis, and it was bruised. And, if I wasn't close to my son, he wouldn't have brought it to me. He brought it and said, "Mommy, this thing I have a wound and it's bleeding." So for a child to do that and bring it to the mom, you should know that there was a form of communication or relationship on that level. When you talk to your child that way, your child learns to trust you more. You build more bond. If you do not, your child won't trust you. As a university lecturer for over 14 years, I have a lot of students where when you talk to them, they like bad students, but when you get to know them, you realize that they're good kids, but there's a vacuum. The parents are not there. And it's just terrible. So when you don't do it, somebody else will do it for you. And that vacuum will be filled with something else, which you don't want. So the best thing is do it and start doing it early. The earlier you start, the more comfortable you will be about it.
Thank you, Ma. Yes, I think that made me remember when I was in service here, some friends, was, service, you meet different people. So they were discussing about sex. And one of them said to me that this one, she doesn't know nothing about it. So I was curious. So I wanted to know and keep talking about it. And then, and they make me feel really bad. They make me feel that, oh, probably she's still a virgin, like at this age, that kind of. So I felt really bad anyway. Then I spoke with, thank God, it's really good to have mentors. So I spoke with my mentor, and she was like, wow, she was just telling me why I am even better than them, that they are perverse or something like that, so that that should not be like them, or that they are already destroyed. And she was telling me a lot of stuff. So she was able to safeguard me, and then I was, because they were saying a lot of things, different style, different things. I was so curious, honestly, to be sincere, I was curious. And then, internet is not, so I should have, if then I would have Googled it, learn myself. But thank God for my mentor. She was a little bit very close, and she just, maybe the Spirit of God led her. So she just called me and she was just talking about that people in service, they mess up. I said, yes. I said, my friends, they're into so many things and they make me look really bad. That in short, I think I'm the only one. Oh, myself and another lady, she's a lawyer now, Barrister Tosin. So she was like, I was like, both of us that were just like we are not in the same class with them in terms of we are just we are just naive. don't know nothing about sex and so on. And she was like, oh, you guys are the best. You just keep yourself, blah, blah, and so on. So if my parents have educated me, so I wouldn't need third party, to discuss this. And then, so, and I believe probably, yeah, my dad, everybody were very close, we communicate, but probably they do not see, the benefits, of educating, of talking about sex, or probably they fall into category of people who, feel sex, education, and sex, talking about sex is unholy. So I pray may God help us. So parents, we need to, and then like our mommy said, you need to have bond with your children, because if you don't have that bond, even for you to, when you're discussing it, it won't even make sense to them. They don't want to listen to you because you don't even have that relationship. They don't want to listen. So you just, and our parents, when Nigerian parents, the manners, the way they will bring, oh, come and sit down here, and yes.
No, they will even say, "I hope you have not been doing it." Those your friends, those boys. I'm seeing those boys are, they will do it as if they are attacking you, as if you are a criminal. They caught you doing something,
So parents, you need to. If not, they won't listen to you, and at the end of the day, it won't even make sense. It will be worse than you not talking at all. So let's learn to develop that relationship. Our children know how they learn. Be friendly so that you can bring up topics like that. You can even start with stories of when you were young, and what happened to you, even the bad ones, you can let them know so that they learn from you. So parents is really important. You can't dodge it. You can't escape the expect parents, new parents of this generation. So you need to, it's a serious matter. So Ma, do you want to share with us the benefits? That was the last session anyway, the benefits of sex education in children.
Yeah, the benefits I'm going to explain, I've kind of mentioned them while I was talking. So the first thing is that you want your kids to know the right thing, not the wrong thing. Like when you were speaking, you said your parents told you if you touch a boy, you'll be pregnant or something. That I think that was a general thing that time, as in some people will say if you even talk to a boy, you get pregnant. Some will say if they touch you, you get pregnant, I remember then when I got to the university, any girl that was a virgin was made to feel like a village girl,
something like that.
There was one label that was given to you, and it was so bad that I knew girls that were looking for just people to just disvirgin them. And there were guys, I remember then there were guys that they used to have like one nail here. They would say that they are the ones that help to disvirgin girls also. That thing was very popular then. It was just because we didn't have the right information. As in, for Christ's sake, now when a girl knows that even if you touch me, I can't get pregnant, you understand, she's gonna be healthier in her mind than somebody that feels. So when a guy talks to you, you like this, nobody talk to me, nobody, you want them to live right, be able to healthily communicate with the opposite sex. I kid you not, there are a lot of women that cannot sit in the same space with a man and communicate healthily. The way they have been raised, it's like, it's wrong. There are some women that cannot sit beside a man in public. I have seen it many times when you want to enter like public transport in Nigeria, and they say, maybe there's a man, the woman will say, no, please, another man should sit beside that man, and then another lady, she cannot.
I think I will intervene there, man. I think, it's not like I can't sit beside a man. At that point when they told me, I just finished from secondary school, and I fortunately went to, guest only. So I actually don't have any relationship with, men, then like boys, no. And growing up, I've been, my parents, they've been protective. So like they pick me up, they drop me in school. So I don't have any relationship with anybody, girlfriends, and so on. But when I was in boarding school, that's when I started having friends. And when they told me that actually affected me for a very long time, because I never know. So it's automatically I see guys as probably
like a taboo.
Yeah, the
danger.
In uni, when anytime a guy, we can be friends, at distant level. Anytime you talk about you love me or something, I'll just hate you. It's not like I will just dislike that person because I feel that, you want to destroy me. I have so many things to achieve in life. I'm going places, I want to become doctor, professor, something like that, because they've communicated to me. They've tried to safeguard me, but probably in a wrong way.
You were now conditioned the wrong way, you know,
yeah.
and that affected her. There are some people now that imagine now if you have a company and you're looking for funding, and maybe the company that wants to fund you is owned by a man, and then maybe they, you know, I have seen women that believe that any man that talks to them loves them. Have you not seen that? If a man says hello, they feel the man wants to sleep with them.
So, yeah,
there are women, I've seen women like that. If a man just looks at them and smiles and say hello, she believes that he wants to
feel uncomfortable.
A man cannot be, you know, a man cannot smile at her at them just like that. They feel any man that smiles at you wants to have sex with you. I know people like that. So you can imagine people like that. They go to a public place and maybe a man is being courteous and maybe opens a door for them and says, "Oh, ma'am, you can go in." Or maybe a man just says, "Oh, you're looking beautiful." You understand? You can imagine what is going on in their heads, which is wrong. And you can't live healthy and relate with the opposite sex well. That's a problem. So another benefit is that when you do this sex education, you have a bond. There's this bond that you just can't explain with your child. I don't have girls, I have only boys, but the bond I have with my boys, and I can tell you that this sex education was part of it. And there is nothing about sex that my kids cannot ask me. And they ask me, they laugh, we joke about certain things, but they know that mommy will tell us the truth. And maybe because they know that mommy is a doctor, they know that my mommy knows a lot. So they're confused. They go, "Oh, mommy, what's this? Mommy." So it's not like a taboo. It's not like one topic that we can't talk about in my house. In my house, just like talking about bread, you can also talk about sex. Because there's no taboo about it. It's a normal thing. It's just that you can't be vulgar about it. Another benefit of sharing sex education with your child is that it helps you instill family values. Like I told you earlier that I went to a cousin's place, and while I was there, the daughter bumped into my room. I was naked. One of the family values we have is you respect people's privacy and boundaries. Yeah. So it has helped because in my house, you can't enter a space without knocking. You have to respect whoever is there. So we have some family values that this sex education has helped us to instill, you know. So I cannot want to undress and my son will start standing and be looking. He quickly knows, you know, because there are some things you don't say with mouth. You say, "Oh, mommy, let me excuse you, dear God." Some children, you'll be undressing, they will stand.
They'll be looking because they want
to look like this because they don't know it's wrong.
Wrong, yeah.
Now, for instance, it's one of our family values is you don't stare. You don't stare. It's wrong to stare. I went to the store 2 days ago, and there was this elderly woman. I'm sure she was in like her 50s. I don't know what she was intrigued about one particular person she was looking at. This woman stared to the level that even the person she was staring at felt embarrassed. Now, that is an adult, but she didn't know that staring is rude. So one of our family values in my house is you don't stare. Staring is rude. So it helps. It helps, you know. So it helps you instill family values, whatever your family values are. If you do not have family values, I beg you, please start having your family values. Just family values are the principles, the beliefs, the foundation, the things that guide your belief system in your family. For instance, we don't lie in this family. We tell the truth no matter what. Hard work, you know, love. One of our family values is love. We communicate love very well in my home. I preach that thing very well. You have to communicate love because the world needs love. And then what I'll finally say is that do not rely, I've said it before, on other people to do it for you. You don't want other people to come and do your responsibility for you. You do not wait for when they get to school. People will tell you when they get to school, they will learn it. Is school their father or their mother? That is why you have kids that if the teacher tells them A and they get home and the mother says B, it's a lie. Is that A that will stand? As in, they value, respect, and obey their teachers more than their parents, which shouldn't be. For Christ's sake, it shouldn't be. And the Bible says, teach them in the way that they should know, and they will not depart from it. Once you have laid the foundation, it secures and cements that child for life. You have secured the future of that child. When you refuse to do it, people that lack this knowledge are struggling adults. There are people I know that ladies, they don't enjoy sex, not because they have a problem, but because of all the conditioning. You know, before once the man even starts talking about sex, they are already afraid. They are, you know, so many things are going on that they don't even want the sex. And I have seen ladies that will beg their husbands, please go outside, just go and sleep with anybody, just leave me. Because of these things, because of these myths and these conditionings. So please, people, please, parents, please. You can start gradually. You can start gradually. Just start from little. You will see that with time you get better at it. And God will help us by God's grace.
Thank you so much, Ma, for your time. So, parents, I believe we've learned so many things, from the discussion. And parents, it's really important that we teach our children, we educate them about sex. They need to know about puberty, about their reproductive organs, and how to abstain and sexual relationship, their body image, and so on. So, parents, is really important we do this. And that's the end of our session today. So we look forward to see you probably next month when we'll be discussing on building and fostering children's self-esteem. So parents, we pray may God be with you, and we look forward to see you next month. Take care. Bye for now.
Thank you. Bye.